has been treating you well. My God. Oh, Dios mío. Tyler, how do you were first? Zoran turned off gifted subs. Oh no. Now who will you gift to? I guess whatever remaining members of that SMP exist.
Hey, wanted to stop in and say hi. Almost 5 years Blueheart, I'll be at work all stream, but I've passed my intro from like 2 months ago, and I have to travel 4 hours to take a sewing test. No ADA for when yet though.
Sewing test?
Smiling face with hearts.
Oh my God. Edward, thank you so much for 59 months! Oh my God! Almost 5 years indeed, and going strong. 5 more years. 5 more years. Oh my God. Well, have a good time at work. Hopefully it goes by quick and or is enjoyable, one or the other. Oh my God. Passing the interview is huge, King. Congrats. My God. Either way, sewing test or not, I'm sure you'll crush a sewing test. That part's gonna be easy. My God. It's within striking distance, King. It'd be such a solid rock my week all this time. I will cry. You can't say that. Be mean. But it's so hard to understand about be mean. Oh my God. Hey, thank you for equally. Thank you for being around. It means a lot. It means a lot for all of you, but equally to Edward, you specifically. You've been great, King. I appreciate it. Update me more on your on our Canadian going ons. You know, I've not gotten. Maybe all's well. Maybe all's well in your province, but I've not gotten an update on any of the shenanigans in so long. Yes, make Nap cry. No, don't make Nap cry. We just started. Oh my God. Is tomorrow the Minecraft live? No, that's not till next week, I don't think. Yeah, I think it's like the 30th. Yeah. This is mean. You've been streaming loser. True. Based and true. Oh my God. Stream streak 180 Nap. The voices won't stop on God. Oh my God. 180 stream streak is insane. But God bless, King. God bless. 180 stream streak is crazy. Oh my God. It's been banned federally and provincially? No, surely not. Surely it's been fine. What? Next you're gonna tell me there's like some sort of like referendum vote getting put on that's like not actually binding because they're ignoring the courts and are putting like a semi-type question on that's not even really the legally binding question. It's a referendum question on whether or not they would like them to pursue the legal options that exist. You know, it'd be crazy. He's also under U.S. psyop for separation, so you know, I'll have you know, I have it on good authority that a lot of that is caused by Danish YouTubers. It's not even the U.S., it's Danish YouTubers because they can make good money off it. Oh, dude, the voices tell me to give 500 subs. Well, then don't listen to them. I made Star Wars art. Oh! Can I see it? May I see it? My God. What of? What of? Did you go see Mandalorian and Grogu? I've not gotten to see it yet. But have you gone to go see it? That the Manda movie is so bad. Oh my God, don't waste your money on seeing it. Oh. Oh. Oh, okay. What about Grogu? Why? Ignoring the court's babes, they just changed the law under the notwithstanding clause. Oh, what a little scamp. What a little scamp they are. Notwithstanding. Crazy. Oh my God. Yo! The spirit Halloween is crazy. Oh my God. Cody! Oh, Cody, my beloved. Where's his husband? Oh my God. Dude, that looks awesome. Them freaking Danes, they give us full beat and now here we are. I was not paying attention about what was that about. Oh, you know, the Danish found a lucrative opportunity for AdSense revenue to be made on YouTube by fanning the flames of separatism within one of the provinces of Canada. You know, a casual Sunday, you know, what you do, you know, just one of those things. Oh my god. I like some of the character designs. I like the score. I liked the puppetry. Notice how I'm not saying I like the plot. Dang. I feel like it's more scathing if Tyler doesn't like it. See, Tyler thinks he has a lot more pull than he actually does. He was like 4 hours late to our TV time where I was hosting and watching the show. First time he said, already seen it. And at some point, Tyler went, I guess you won't be able to watch tonight. And I just thought to myself, Tyler, I'll just watch it without you. Huh? What? I'm so confused as to what just happened. I feel like I just got to witness a drive-by of drama. Oh my god. Though I did finally watch K-pop Demon Hunters and made Ruby and Juno as Mandos based. Oh my god. Great movie. Stellar movie. Anyway, work time. Toodle poodles. Got sell overpriced makeup to shockers. I mean regular people who think the CBC is liberal propaganda. Bye, Edward. Have a good time, King. Enjoy. Sell lots of pallets. That's right. That's what they sell, right? That's makeup. That's makeup. Yeah. I mean, not wood pallets. I mean, maybe pallets of pallets, I guess. Well, we've been watching together, so sorry that I assumed it was like a special bonding activity. You just don't have any ability to control me. There's nothing to... I'm not trying to control you. I mentioned Tyler's lack of pull because he said today was Lego Batman. I mean... Listen. It was a little crazy, but he heard the voices, okay? He wrongfully heard the voices, you know? Sometimes Tyler stares up into the sky and he hears the voices and they go like that, you see? That's what he's hearing constantly. This exact stream is being beamed into his skull, you know? Yo, I'm so hungry. I'll do. I hope you're doing well. 10 out of 10 Subway made me... Great, but how is the segue? Well, my god. Wait, there's that what? Wait, I was meant to get something. Is that do I get a hole punch in my rewards card? Well, it was something you said, something about my ratings for cutaways. Oh, is the reason Tyler wrongfully assumes so much stuff because of the voices? Mayhaps. Who's to say? You know? Anyway, as is usually the case, which is why I don't know why it would be any different. First of all, welcome back to the Minecraft Encore. Wow, almost 5 years. Wow. Oh, the countdown has started. We are within a month of 5 years of this world. Wow. Nap, have you beaten the Ender Dragon? No, I have not. Oh my god. But anyway, what I was gonna say was, as with most things, I take them into consideration. He seems very vehement, and so, you know, it moved up. He has the pull to have it move up the list. But as with most games, of new games particularly, you know, it's if people want it, sure. But I can't full send. It would be insane, especially after being like, okay, to get Fallout 3, we need... and just be like, brand new game, why not? Ripcord, you know? Because I'm toxic, gang. I'm toxic. Never forget, toxic streamer, always, you know? I crush the proletariat beneath my foot, you know? I am an enemy of the people. Some other accusation leveled at me. I'm ableist, all of these things. Please don't clip this out of context, please. It would be so unfortunate. The heat is also unbearable. I imagine it's been crazy heat across North America for the last little while. And there's so much water everywhere. My God. You go to the Hudson Bay and you go, wow, look how much water there is there in the Hudson Bay. The big bay. Next to none of it, you know? Eating ice cream. Now, very important question. Very important question. Very important question, Astro Hungry. Everybody, shh. What kind of ice cream are you eating? What kind of ice cream are you eating? I need to know! There's one correct answer and a few others I'll accept. Lemon was not in my mind, but that's based. Citrus ice cream? You know what? That's probably refreshing. Never mind. You know, I was about to get out of soapbox. I thought you were gonna say something psychotic, like chocolate mint. Oh, God bless. You're so based. Citrus ice cream? Oh, that'd be good. Let me call my husband. No, that's not what that's for. Weren't you just saying that he has to save money? Do you consider scenes in the movie trailer as a spoiler? Scenes in the movie trailer? No, not typically. Sometimes, yeah. Like, I appreciate you asking, but if it's in the trailer, no, I tend not to. Nap is transphobic. That's why he only streams when I'm at work. No, please. Oh, God. About to lose all 94 of the 94%, my God. Why were you at the Hudson Bay? Well, no, I was just saying, you know, I look out at the Hudson Bay and I see a lot of water. There's been a lot of water in my life as of late, you know? Some could say flash flooding, but you know, that'd be crazy. Nap, have you ever seen Twin Peaks? I have not. I've heard tell. Is that the one that has the... Wait a minute. Maybe that's one that I've actually heard tell of as an example. Was it a TV show or a movie? And does it snow in that show ever? Is there like an episode where it snow? Something like Twin Peaks is maybe I'm thinking of Wind River. Anyway, there's a thing that I remember I was talking to somebody earlier about this week because it's a great example of how old television is now being poorly scaled to streaming platforms because they just get the master cut and then don't bother actually scaling things properly, and so it actually really ruins the shot because they just slap a wide shot on when they weren't meant to. And so in a lot of older television, it looks bad, or you can see boom mics, or like you can see the feet of the people acting and you're not meant to. So they, like, for instance, in this scenario, they're standing in quote unquote snow, but it's actually just like, you know, cotton fluff. But if you didn't see their feet, you wouldn't really be able to tell. It was done really well, except you could see with their feet, oh, they're just stepping on a thing that's depressed like slightly. Oh, I see, you know? I don't know if any of that made sense. Listen. Tiger and Edward sent me down a rabbit hole after Monday's stream, and I may be acquiring my childhood CRTV, you know? Which I thought broke, but I should have realized. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if any of you have ever had the hoarder parent that just like holds on to everything. Sometimes it comes in use, you know? The glaciers melted and none of it and all. That's why you have troubles with the water. Exactly. Somebody gets it. My God. So basically, Run of the Hutt and Mando are fighting people, and I was so bored at this point in the movie, and my mind just went, okay, so in D&D, which class would they be? Anyway, I ended up with Run being a fighter and Mando as a paladin. That's fair. I haven't seen Run a fight. I feel like it would be I feel like it would almost like, which subclass would you give them? I mean, Mando makes sense to the paladin, and I'd probably get a homebrew, like, if not homebrew, it'd be probably Oath of Glory, but otherwise it'd be like Oath of the Mandalorians or something like that. You know what I mean? I had the opposite, so now I'm the hoarder child. You know, Mr. Saw, that makes sense. That tracks. I can't lie. It's a show I've only seen 3 episodes so far. It's David Lynch, very fun. My first jump in, yo. I think it is the one that I'm thinking of then, because that Twin Peaks sounds right. I didn't think of subclasses. I don't really know many subclasses that aren't for Rogue, to be honest. Well, you know, for Barbarian, there's famously Berserk, or for Fighter, sorry, you said Fighter, not Barbarian. There's Battlemaster, there's Eldritch Knight, there's... I've never played a Fighter. There's Samurai, there's Cavalier, there's... something else, probably. By the way, have you seen how much power Nestle and Coca-Cola have in Mexico? Like power use or like political power? Because I'd imagine quite a lot as corporation. I mean, Nestle's just like a demonic entity that should be swapped from this earth. It just needs to be sent into anybody who's trying to like make water at a franchise needs to be dealt with. No, Saw isn't a hoarder thing. It's an autism thing. You know, 2 things can in fact be the same. You know that? Just like one being true does not necessarily make the other not true. You can hoard things due to autism just the same. The cause of hoarding doesn't have to be anything specifically. Definitely not Eldritch Knight. He doesn't have magic. Which that makes sense. You're saying he doesn't randomly have hut magic? That's crazy. I was looking at FBI agent Dale Cooper's face on the preview, and slowly the pieces came together. I realized he's Kyle MacLachlan, father of Lucy from Fallout, but 3 years ago, he's very esoteric and funny and odd in Twin Peaks. Hey, that's interesting. I don't know if I knew many other roles for him. Personally, that's like one of my favorite things is when you find like an actor and then go back and watch some of their filmography. Big fan of that, especially if they've been around for a long time. Like if you take like a Robert De Niro or a Harrison Ford or like Olivia Colman or something like that, and you go like back to their earliest work, like I mean not their big break, I mean their earliest like appearances. Yo, Grand Auto, and then you jump from that forward. My God. Also a hoarder child. My mom tried to get rid of her CDs, to which I responded, "You the heck you will? They're mine." I mean that's kind of based though. That's kind of sick. Is that like, I gotta ask though, like, are you like an audiophile, or are you like just big on like finding the different types of sound files encoded onto DVD or onto CD-ROMs and stuff like that, and you're big on that? Or is it just like having the physical media, or is it just like you have it and don't want it now to not be there? You know? Yo, Fox Family out, dude. It's been a while. It's been a while. It has, dude. It's probably been a few months. I hope you've been well. I hope life's been treating you well, dude. Tyler showed me his favorite musical, and it was very cool. Yo. Which one's that? I say again, The Lightning Thief musical is a masterpiece. I don't doubt it. Not even remotely an audiophile, just anxiety about media preservation. An understandable anxiety to have, to be honest. As increasingly it is becoming a landscape of like, oh me, oh my, oh, if we don't save these things, they're just gone. Oh, I see, you know? I'm gonna place those there so that I can start correcting this area. Read my message. I'm recommending to you something. I missed it. I'm sorry. I think you'd enjoy it from what I've seen so far. It's weird and very 80s and 90s. Small town in North America, or in the North, and esoteric. It's not interesting, and I read a separate message. It's really interesting, and everyone enjoyed it and didn't ditch me halfway through episode 1. Is that like wait, so they didn't or they did? Coca-Cola owns 3/4 of the water in the state of Chiapas. Oh, goody. Oh, goody. Well, I mean, thank God they're responsible. You know, at least it's in good hands, right? Ride the cyclone. What does that mean? My life has been less than well. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, dude, but I don't want to bring down your mood because you're so. Oh, dude, this is kind of you. I finally got some friends. Hey, and I got a blueberry bush. Yeah, but wait, that's sick. You got like a full-on blueberry bush? Did you just get the one? Did you get two? Don't, because they need like two to like what's the word I'm looking for? Pollinate? Gesticulate? Something like that. Oh, I guess they do make some that are self-pollinating now. They like made them in a lab or whatever. Either way, sick. Dude, I want a friggin' blueberry bush. Pollinate, that's what it is. Ride the Cyclone. Oh, that's the name of the musical Tyler showed you. I see. I'm not familiar. Truth be told. I could wait a second. I see how this could be. I see how this could be. God, Nap, you're so smart and cool and awesome. Oh, gee whiz, gee willikers, you know? People say you're not, but boy. And then I probably just want to get. Wait, why is it not letting me swim? Why is it not letting me swim? Please. Just when they're actually starting to turn purple, so I can get some in about 2 to 3 weeks. Hey, nice, dude. Are you gonna make like jam or pie, or do you have any play, or just have berries? Are you going to have the hit mid 2020s meme of berries and cream, as the kids say, or did? I guess I don't think they still say it. I think that ship has passed, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I stand to be corrected. Perhaps the berries and cream were the berries and cream we made along the way, you know? That doesn't even make sense, Nap. That didn't even... What does that mean? Oh, and then I need iron bars! I think I have some upstairs. Nap, I once recommended it to you. DMD slime tutorial. You aren't familiar? I see how it is. Ride the Cyclone. Ride the Cyclone. It's not ringing a bell. I am sorry if that's the case. It's not ringing a bell. Then again, I quite famously have a memory that either is really good and or really bad, depending. Perhaps the data set is still fermenting in my mind, you know? I don't think blueberry bushes can grow in the cold weather of Nunavut. Well, not outdoors, but in a greenhouse. Of course. No one started loudly coughing and opening bags of chips and watching videos on Twitter into the mic in the middle of episode 1 during scenes of otherwise intense drama and death and abuse. I mean, Tyler, I gotta be real. If that is what you were doing, that is crazy. That is crazy. That's an instinct, you know, where's the etiquette, you know? Probably just gonna eat them straight. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Based, honestly. Blueberries really are one of those berries that are like perfect in any way. Like, you can make them into something, have them off rip. I mean, most of the like classic like raspberries, blackberries, strawberries, and blueberries are that way. But you know, mulberries or elderberries and stuff like that, it's like, oh, I need to process this first, you know. So it's like, as far as things go, solid berry. It's very good, you know. Jeez. Thanks, that was my audition for Strawberry Shortcake. I hope to see you there. I'll be there. I'll be like, hey, Strawberry Shortcake. I think that's her name, I guess, too. Is her name Strawberry Shortcake? Or is that like the name of the city they live in? Anyway, hey, it's me, the devil. I'm here to convince you to do sin. There we go. I knew I had some iron. Again, since the glaciers are melting, maybe the weather is hotter in the north. You know what? So true. So true. If nobody got my back, Osro does. He come in, he go, oh, hold on, Your Honor. My client absolutely has reason to be able to have blueberries. How dare you? Her name is Strawberry Shortcake. I know the lore. That is somehow the least surprising thing. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I don't mean that in any way. That is just assuredly unsurprising to me. Where are my blast furnaces? I definitely took those all the way over to the other area, didn't I? Oh! I always will do that, but let's go. Let's go, W. Oh my god. The rest of these schmucks could learn a thing or two. They're so mean. They always come in, they cheer against Streamer. They go, boo, boo, Streamer. I get a win in a video game, they go, boo, hiss, get off the stage. I get my butt whooped in a video game. They all celebrate. Oh my god. They just go, yeah, he's losing. Unbelievable. Weren't you blasted outside in a little structure like 3 years ago? Well, they were in that structure, and then I believe I moved some of them down to here because here's where I was smelting more things. Or not. There's somewheres. Who knows? Really, I'll just cook it here. Who cares? I don't need it to be a blast furnace, I guess. Do I actually have any iron? I have iron bars! I don't need to wait for it to cook. Woo! So my memory of the hardcore world from 3 years ago doesn't help. Oddly enough, you know. There's a bunch of other new plants. I have cherry tomatoes and they're fruiting. Yo, wait, tomatoes are actually like really difficult to get going. I'm also teaching myself Italian. Hey, look at you go, dude. That's awesome. My God, you're genuinely just a renaissance man. Straight up just out here like, yeah, anyway, I'm learning how to cultivate different plant types, and then beyond that, you know, I'm learning other languages. Just like genuinely better in yourself. Let's go. Huge. I think I messed this up. I think, oh, I did. It did a stupid thing. Oh, jeez. It's not that hard to fix. There we go. That cuts off there. And then I also have to attach these. Well, not right there. Maybe one up. Maybe just one up from there. That's not what I wanted. Why are you doing this to me? Why? What did I ever do to you, game? Perfect. It's perfect. And then, yeah, just set it like that. Why not? Oh, all right. Oh. She has a sister and cousin depending on the continuity. The absurdity that every time I'm at this specific just waterfall build, I'm learning new continuities about IPs from the 80s. Last time was Transformers, and now I'm learning about Strawberry Shortcake. Never change, you guys. Never change. God, golly. good googly boogly. This right here, never changed. Peak chat moment, my God. Named Apple Dumpling, a cat named Custard, dog named Pupcake, and Aunt Pauline Cranberry Jam. Mom's name is Strawberry Cobbler. Brother's name is Pineapple Cobbler. The town's called Berryville. Insane choices. Tomatoes are difficult. I lived in my mom's greenhouse. She was like a jungle every summer. My mistake. Difficult to cultivate in Nunavut. You see. Oh my gosh. CNAP, when they rebooted an IP 40,000 times, it depends on the continuity. Oh god. The waterfall of 80s lore. Somebody get on to Thundercats and G.I. Joe. I mean, they're about to release that stupid Masters of the Universe movie where whoever just was like, what if we made a He-Man movie, but we refused to commit to the idea that it was actually He-Man? And so we just put him in a modern day office job. He's in an office in our world. He's an intern. He's so quirky. Oh my god. Oh god. That's a real movie that's coming out soon. Good god. Nothing can ever just be like a sincerely quote unquote nerdy thing. It always has to be like, but what if we like made it more what if we made fun of what it is? Cause we can't be sincere. Oh, heaven forbid we're sincere about something. Oh god. I don't do G.I. Joe, but they love crossing over with Transformers, so someday I'll have to read the new G.I. Joe stuff. I mean, G.I. Joe has crazy lore I learned recently. Apparently, like, there was some sort of, like, fungal plant that turned Cobra Commander into a literal snake. Slowly. And over the course of like weeks of him losing his mind until all he could say was, I used to be human. And then he full on just becomes a snake. It seems odd. Also done it bloody, eh? That was cool. Yay! Look at you go. W, dude. Was it for like a specific blood drive or just like you got the itch? You're just like, you know what I need to do today? Blood donation. Either or works. I don't love it, but I don't hate it as a look. I think its bottom needs a bit more work, but I don't love it, but I don't hate it. Probably needs a bit more work at the top. Maybe a bell added in. I broke a broom? What? What were you doing, Curlin? What do you mean you broke a broom? Ah, jeez, I broke a broom. Ah, man. Nuts. Oh, the entire broom exploded and splintered into tiny little pieces. Ah, gee whiz. Oh, Lord Almighty. I went hiking a couple weeks ago, found a couple large clumps of wool stuck to the bushes in barbed wire. So, barbed wire? What kind of war zone? So I grabbed it and washed it, and yesterday I asked my friend to bring their wool carding brushes to craft so I could card the wool and prepare it for spinning. My man's just living in a different century. The new comics that used to be really strong are getting really weak with their new writers. It's really sad. For G.I. Joe or for Transformers, but they're trying the big crossover thing. The last comic company who had Transformers and Hasbro properties tried again. They're bringing back Mask, but again, I'm hesitantly excited for. I thought it was fun when it was a little reference, but I don't know how it's going. Gonna be in a full new series. It does tend to be that they can jump the shark that way, you know? It's like, for instance, one of my favorite Star Wars comics, it was a Dark Horse series, that is a series for Vader. And those Vader comics, short and sweet. They only did about 15, maybe 25, I think, total. My God, some of the best work they've ever done. Ray, I don't know if you're still here. If you haven't seen those, my God, go get them. Those, they spin off into the Dr. Aphra comics. Genuinely another interesting character. She's an archaeologist who just like very Indiana Jones but more villainesque. She's great. She gets into like some of the wacky, like genuine fantastical artifacts of Star Wars where they're like, oh yeah, here's a kyber crystal that contains the souls of like a Jedi Lord of Hoth, because at one point there were Jedi Lords just like there were Sith Lords, and it's like it holds 1,000 Jedi's souls. Huh? Yeah, it can be used to like, you know, imbue greater force powers and da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh man. So good. And that's the Aphra comics, but the Vader comics, oh man. The angst, for one, which I think you like. Because you get to like really see him go from, it's like early days Vader still, like where most of the like Empire's hierarchy has not heard of him yet. And so he's still running into things. Oh, it's great. It's fantastic. He like he corrupts his kyber crystal. He deals a lot with loss with Padme. It goes deep and hard in the paint for like that element of like, oh, so yeah, you did all this and killed all your friends and everyone you knew and loved for nothing. You didn't get what you wanted. She died. Let's talk about that. It's great. And it also does a good job of making Vader a very menacing and imposing individual. And it fills in some of the gaps between episode 4 and 5 of like what's going on with Han, Leia, and Luke, and how Vader occasionally runs into them, and how he finds out. There's a great sequence. Oh, I want to talk about it, but I don't want to spoil it. There's a really, really fantastic sequence. Ray, cover your ears. I need to talk about this. It's not like a major spoiler of like a reveal. It's all information you would know, I guess. But it's anyway. He sends out Boba Fett, because it also brings in Boba Fett a lot earlier on, to figure out who that pilot was. Who the heck was that seemingly force-sensitive pilot that blew up the Death Star? Anyway, so there's this great sequence that's like 2 pages of the comic of Boba Fett kind of after having his own, like there's a side event with Luke and where Boba Fett almost gets him, but he gets away, and Boba Fett say like, you know, oh yeah, no, he got away, but like I can't, you know, he's a tricky thing to pin down. All I got was a name. And Vader's like, yeah, go on. As he's just like not looking at him, he's staring out into space at the on the bridge of a Star Destroyer. And Boba Fett, not realizing this should mean anything. Yeah, all I got was his name, Skywalker. Skywalker. Breathe, breathe, breathe. You're dismissed. Boba Fett leaves. Big crack in the glass goes up it goes into the inner turmoil monologue of like, oh, this is the moment where Vader's like, that rat bastard Emperor lied to me. I have a kid. Huh. Well, looks like I have something to live for. Because this comes after a lot of time of like, this gives him this one sliver of hope of, because like the past several comics are this whole big buildup of like, what did I sacrifice this all for? And this gives him a light in the tunnel, baby. This gives him a light in the tunnel of like, huh, I'm gonna find him. We're gonna kill the Emperor. That's what's gonna happen now. And that's his full-on decision. And he locks in on it. And then that becomes the next follow-up of a lot of his comics of trying to get to Luke. At one point, Vader is shot down, crash lands onto a planet of, I think it's Jakku, actually, where there was a rebel base at the time. He's surrounded by like 150 people with small tanks. Give up, Lord Vader, you're surrounded. Lay down your arms and come peacefully with the Rebel Alliance. Yes! Yes! You know the moment! And all Vader says, all I see is that I'm surrounded by fear and dead men. Oh, banger. But anyway, yeah, it really does start to delve deep into like Vader, both grappling with what he did. They deal with how Palpatine, the sick fiend that he was, his gift to Vader was Padme's ship, the Numidian class pleasure yacht. It's like, this can be your ship. So they go in there's a whole thing with that. It gets into the whole like idea of like, can he still be saved? Is it possible? Is it not? Oh, fantastic. And then that's all in the lead up to him even discovering that there is a son and that rat bastard lied to him. Because then he finds Boba Fett leads him to the asteroid, the one from episode 3 where they were born, and he goes in and he finds the medical droid archives, and he finds out that Padme gave birth. Oh my god. He gets to see the archive. Oh, he loses it. He loses his mind. Oh, fantastic. And it's also great to watch him have to like be the like fist of the Empire that he is and deal with politics that he really doesn't want to deal with. So he keeps running into these like political jockey and Imperials who don't know who he is. They're like, I don't care about this Vader guy. Don't you know who my dad is? I'm an Imperial officer, you know? And he just keeps killing them until eventually the Emperor's like, okay, I'm gonna humiliate you and put this one Imperial officer in charge of you. Work with that, pal. Oh, it's great. I'm sorry, you did send long messages. I got so down the rabbit hole of like dealing with the ins and outs of Star Wars. I've been so Star Wars pilled. I mean, it's May. My God, I've equally been thinking. I will go back and read them. I equally have been thinking a lot recently about there's this one line in episode 4 where Vader's talking to Tarkin. Because he's like, I'm sure of it. I'm sure he's like, I'm sure of it. Obi-Wan's here. Here? Are you sure? What about? He's like, I feel a disturbance in the Force. For the longest time, I never really thought about it. He's like, he's here. I need to go find him. And Tarkin's like, don't bother. And I was like, I mean, it's not that. He's just searched the station. I kind of forgot that it's the size of a small moon. And so Vader's just there like, somewhere on this small moon of a building. Obi-Wan, I know he's here. I'm gonna find him. And equally great, and because then I was like, oh, but yeah, okay, you could probably go to the Millennium Falcon because it'd probably be like, oh, well, there's one ship we just took on, so why not search that? Oh, wait, there's probably, every bay is probably full of ships right now. Like, they don't cover this in the movie because, you know, they really just weren't that, like, it's a product of its time. They didn't have the whole galaxy idea figured out yet. Alderaan's like a big, important planet. There was definitely like ships and freighters going to and from it. What happened to them? They witnessed that the Death Star blow up a planet in the core. Kind of feel like they'd have to quarantine a bunch of ships that I'd never really considered. I'd always felt like, oh yeah, the Millennium Falcon, but then also one of the other weird, which is in the novelization that came out much later, that one of the other things that tips off Han and them to being like, oh, this is so weird, is equally, why is there no ships? This is not just, is this the quadrant for like where Alderaan should be? That's like a central hub of trade. Why is no ships coming and going? Where is everyone? That's because they didn't show up immediately after the explosion. They showed up a good bit after the explosion. I believe it's almost been like half a day to 24 hours, you know? And the difference between the surface of a moon and the entire space station the size, except there's just so much. He's just like, I know he's in here. Tarkus, Vader, what are you talking about? You're gonna find one old man on this whole place? Oh God, awesome. All right, I gotta go back and read FJ's message. I apologize. I got pilled down into Star Wars. The way Skybound Energon universe worked was they released an original IP called Void Rivals, which in like issue 2, these rival aliens, who are actually the same species unbeknownst to them, discover a spaceship. There was actually a wait, the spaceship? The spaceship was the Transformer. And that was a surprise reveal that the Transformer comics were coming back. Oh! And they tied in G.I. Joe and that world immediately. Oh, okay, well, that's interesting. But have they always been tied in? Mask was originally only a tiny cute reference in Free Comic Book Day issue last year, but they made the villain a key component in the plot of the Transformers and confirmed with this year's free comic that Mask is becoming a series as well. Mask is a lot richer than G.I. Joe and Transformers, and they really jumped the shark and bringing weird niche plots and IPs that no one cared. When you say Mask, do you mean like Son of the Mask? Like that Mask? Like The Mask? Like Jim Carrey? Oh. Anyway, yeah, highly recommend the Vader comics. Equally, you could probably just search up that one panel of just search up Boba Fett tells Vader about Skywalker and go to images. You'd probably find that it's so good. It's so unbelievably well done. Of like, oh, this, especially after coming off of the heels of so many comic issues in that group that was like building up to the idea of like, man, Anakin, or Vader, what do you have to live for still? Everything you want is gone. You're just here to cause pain and hurt people. Like, what am I even here for, being the question? And that question being answered with, I have a son. Oh, this is wonderful, Stormtroopers. I have a son. Oh, God. Nap, I would like to suggest to you the official Star Wars radio drama of A New Hope. I listened to it so much as a kid, I forgot some scenes weren't in the movie. It's great. Only like 2 of the voice actors were the actual actors, and it was at least Luke and C-3PO. It's got 2 hours of content before the story matches the movie. I love it. That sounds awesome, dude. That's similar to, there's a deleted scene from A New Hope that got early stuff on Tatooine where like Luke and Biggs, or no, Wes, one of the, anyway, they're like watching the Star Destroyer attack Leia's ship from the ground. It's great. It shows Leia being a rebel, has Bail in it. Bam! Bail, my beloved. Luke actually hangs out with his friends, including Biggs. And Leia torture scene is super intense. 1 hour, otherwise at 2 hours. 1 hour is a quick runtime for that. I guess, yeah, less visuals. More explanation. It's pretty fair bet G.I. Joe and Transformers go together these days, but it wasn't originally. Very quickly though, and no Mask Mobile Armored Strike Command, it was another Hasbro property that wasn't as popular, but not nearly as niche as some of the others they roped in. I don't know, Mask is like, they build fancy vehicles and they have secret weapons and change shape as opposed to Transformers being alive. Isn't that like Voltron? From Power Rangers? Which one of you, oh, I think it was Tyler. Which one of you is like super into Power Rangers? And like inform me that there's actually lore, and at one point they were like cops for some reason. Still unclear as to the why for that, but you know, Mask Command with a K? Oh, we love a super forced background. Oh, true. They really did like, I really wanted to fit this acronym. No, 1 hour of content before the movie starts. The whole thing's like 5 hours. That makes a lot more sense. I was so like gaslighting myself. I was like, yeah, I guess if you don't have to show visuals, even though a visual medium's usually quicker, but you know, it's... I was so ready to just be like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess. How does this look? Let's find out. I hate that. You know, it needs to be, you know what, one thing it needs to be is probably some form of different block to be, I don't know, to at least add texture. I mean, that's something, but that's not exactly what I want. Maybe tough? I don't have a lot of tough, I don't think. Building a dam? Sort of. I'm just building a waterfall exit for this otherwise large moat that goes all the way around around this side, because this makes the castle bit an island. Woo! It's a damn waterfall. Oh, the damn moat. My guy's going full Percy Jackson with it. That is a damn waterfall, you know it. Oh god, it's kind of Voltron Power Rangers vibes. With the colors and everyone having their own vehicles and stuff, it fits into G.I. Joe vibes of being more down to earth, but some weird tech and mutants and alien. G.I. Joe? Down to earth? The main villain is a chrome dome bald guy, and the guy who got turned, I just said he got turned into a snake. Cobra Commander.
It's over. The verdict is guilty. Not the spores.
Sorry. You know what? I can't show that. Actually, that may be too graphic for stream. Never mind. I was watching a clip of Cobra Commander getting turned into a snake. That I forgot how graphic that thing gets. My God. His skin started bubbling and brewing. My God. I need a damn drink. Well, that doesn't even make sense. How would you be getting a drink from a dam? What is a dam drink? Getting some damn water makes sense. You'd go to a dam and get the water. You guys can't be making the Hoover Dam joke if we aren't playing Fallout New Vegas. MJ, they're making Percy Jackson joke. MJ. Some damn nap content while I pack my stuff. My God. Truly peak humor to like stay within the like young adult rating, you know what I mean? Like perfect. Nap, you may not know this, but water is in fact a drink. Now, why wouldn't I know that? Why me specifically? And where were they when they made that joke of Percy Jackson? Nap, fair enough. I thought you were locked in on the Fallout. My bad. Oh, 100. In case you needed a reminder, so true. So true. My good trusty old water that is next to me. Yes. Water. What are you drinking today, Nap? Water. Water? I'm drinking water. No. Actually, speaking of, earlier this week, my God, I heard there was this kid. It killed me. Because like not in a like it's a cool accent. I don't mean it as it being like funny as it bad, but it killed me. There was this kid who's clearly from, I don't know, somewhere in probably the northern area up north, you know, and because he kept saying, he's like, Daddy, there's a cow on the road. First of all, what do you mean cow on the road? Daddy. First of all, why does it have an eh at the end of it? My God. Money. The damn joke of Percy Jackson is the same one in Fallout. That is why I'm trying these two things together. I know what I'm doing. It's clearly where cars go on the road. It's just very funny. He was such a small child and he said it so funnily. He said car on the road. Car on the road. Oh God, it kills me. You got any money? Money? There's something, everything is always amusing in that accent. Everything is always fun and whimsical, you know? It's a good way to be. For such a small island, it's got 1,000,003 accents, and all of them are equally, like, fun. Howdy, Chad, howdy, Lucas, howdy, how do, Tiger? I hope you're doing well, King. I hope you're doing well. How's life treating you? Hopefully good, hopefully good. Did I go all the way there and not get the tough? It's fine. I think I have some over here. It's fine. I think there's some in a chest over here. I got distracted by all these damn jokes. Oh my god. You say that. Most of the Essex accent are annoying as heck. What do you mean? The only way is Essex. What do you mean? Okay, like, honestly. Me mum? What am I, your mother? What? It's the only way. It's the only way is Essex. It's perfect. You gotta say, it's not funny. I've got school tomorrow. But it's not funny, is it? I got school. It's perfect. It's perfect. Where am I meant to put me away? So many iconic videos have just come out of that island, dude. Where can I put me away? Where am I meant to put me away? Your stick's not even touching the ground, man. That one kills me. The one where the dude's helping a guy. He's helping him walk along. He's helping him walk along with a cane or whatever, and sirens are in the background. And then the other guy's his cane's not touching the ground, and this dude's losing his mind trying to help him along as he just. Your stick's not even touching the ground, man. Oh god. I did them their helium balloons. Car's not made for them. Ah, too late. We're floating away. School. It's not funny. I got school. Got my food for the night. Some shawarma, yo. W choice. That's bad. Almost lost my sword forever and ever. What if a zombie had come down and taken it? Actually, props to that zombie. That you know what? I would accept it. Who are you? I'm Ronnie Pickering. I don't know why. Just so many snippets of. I don't know what it is about the UK, but just there are very clippable people. There are very clear in small segments. Anything said in those segments is funny, and it's just perfect. Time to go home. I might be back. If not, bye, so have a good rest of your evening, dude. Have a great day. Have a great weekend, actually, if I don't see you again. This is an accent I started to pick up when I moved to the Peonies for a bit. You need to really emphasize the school. I got money for school. Oi, Ronnie Pickering is not Scouts. I know because he's from my city and he's a local celebrity. He's a local celebrity. Dude, that guy's face got so red. He's alive? I thought he would have had a heart attack by now. Oh my god. I mean, that is a UK special, I gotta say. A lot of people in videos for the UK, a lot of men in videos of the UK. I don't know if it's just the bald population there, but when they get steamed, oh my god, they truly become red. Their face, like a cartoon character, their face becomes red. It's wondrous. Not necessarily good, but wondrous all the same. Oh. No more W to an absurd degree. Almost like they're two different words. School. Mum, I need money. I need money for school. That's so. I need money for school. That's crazy. Why would it be so broken up? My God. It's the same way. I forget where I heard it. I think it was for some video online. But like, there's so many, any word that ends with that like Y just has the like noise to it in a way that's just so funny. Or like adds like a lilt of humor, you know, no matter what. It always sounds like you're saying something quite serious, but in a light and friendly tone, you know? Gravy. Gravy. Pasta gravy. Get some money. Is that a baby? They didn't say book like buck. They said spelled book like fluke book. Oh wait, that's like yeah, Phil's on Minecraft does that. He said book. Book. I go book. That's not how it's spelled. Alas, sadly, the United Kingdom does have kind of the trump card there of just forever and always able to be, I'm sorry, who made the language? I think you're right. I think you're right indeed that it is said that way, miss. Oh, they laugh like William Taft. Oh, man. Sorry, not William Taft. Grover Cleveland. That's who laughs like that. William Taft is the one with the bathtub. But no, it's Grover Cleveland. He laughs like a he laughs like a toot-toot car. He goes. It's very funny. I try not to listen to the UK if I can help it. That's crazy. My dad spent a lot of time teaching the accent out of me anytime I started picking up while we lived there for about 3 years. He was very adamant I didn't pick up any regional dialects. Oh, that's a shame. I like regional dialects. It's a dying thing. Regional dialects are dying across the world. It's all becoming one standardized accent. And I, for one, think it's a shame. UAI ads. I highly recommend going and getting a glass of water. Go stretch your legs and like, yo, Emily, thank you so much for the gifted. My God. Wait, that's actually crazy. Why is it that much on mobile? Wait, what? Is there an upcharge for mobile? We need the course correct. Quick, everyone start speaking in Nordic accents. Yeah, happy Leif Erikson Day. Hey Nap, I'm really glad I finally caught a stream because you made me feel much better about life. Oh, well, hey man, I'm glad. I'm just playing a silly little block game, hanging out, and you've come by just to hear me say money, and just give myself a little chuckle. So you know. I'm happy if that brings you any joy at all, dude. Brings me a lot. My God, but I do gotta go now. Bye. Later. Have a great evening, dude. Have a great weekend. Best of luck with the blueberries. I demand updates whenever you harvest them. The AI ad shall torment me no more. Victory screech. How's Minnesotan? Oh, Minnesota. That's about all I can do for Minnesota. It's Minnesota. Bunch of cheese heads or whatever. That's their thing, right? They're cheese heads in Minnesota? I don't know. Everything I learned about Minnesota. Or is that Wisconsin? You instantly feel attacked. Oh, crazy. Reminds me of I gotta watch Fargo someday. Oh god, that's Wisconsin. Just the all caps. Do not lump me in with cheeseheads. Okay, sure. You're the hey. Do you really want to get into food problems? Minnesota, Wisconsin salads that are not really salad. Do you know how many Minnesotan salads I've seen that are either sweet, sugary, candy-filled things or full of mayo? Why is there mayo in Jell-O? In a Jell-O salad? Why is there a Jell-O salad? Oh god! Why does everything to eat in Minnesota feel like it will stick to my bones? Jell-O in general. My god! They also got pasta. But the hot dishes, though. Listen, I'll admit, I tried the quote unquote famed Tim oh god, why am I blanking on his last name? Volts? Tim something. Whoever ran for vice president, good god, it's been a long day. Waltz? Sounds right. Waltz sounds right. Tim Walz? Anyway, I tried his, he had a potato hot dish or whatever, put out a recipe, and I was like, I'll make it. Listen, did I think I was gonna have a coronary? Yes. Did I think that I would make it? No. Did I consider calling a hospital? Yes. Was it delectable? Absolutely. Would I have it again? It may be my dying request. Governor Tim Walz? Yeah, he put out, when he was running for vice president, he put out the quote-unquote Walz family hot potato dish casserole recipe. My god, it was beautiful, but there was so much. Jeez, I don't want to know the caloric density of that thing, man. I swear to God, at times it seemed thicker than like glue paste. But it was beautiful. Now, have you seen the old-timey Bermudian baker who makes old-fashioned recipes on TikTok and YouTube? Maybe. I think so. I mean, I assume you don't mean tasting history. But it maybe, is it the guy who, is it like a younger dude? You know, he's like, I mean, I think he's a millennial, to be fair, but he's like not, whereas like tasting history guy, I think he's like almost 40. I think this dude's probably just 30, maybe. Now listening to Anarchy in the UK. It's Anarchy in the UK? No! Quick! Somebody call the Bobby! Do they still call them Bobbies? Is that still like a thing? Are they still like, oh yeah, mate, yeah. That was terrible. I apologize. Right. We gotta be in and out before the Bobby comes, yeah. That was better. More cartoony, but better. We have this one hot dish we make in my family we call poppy seed chicken. It's good. Got rice, chicken, crackers, some soup, and poppy seed. Very good. Yes, soup. Like you make soup and then you make this dish? You're making two things, or it's served with soup? Oh, we have a breakfast one for the other side of the family. That's biscuits, gravy, egg, cheese, sausage as a hot dish. Best thing I've ever eaten. Dear God. I mean, it sounds delicious. My experience is admittedly limited, but I've never heard anyone referred to it as a bobby. Shame. Shame. Gred, you gotta start. You gotta bring it back. Bring back Bobby. Bring it back. Oh, yeah, no, it's a Bobby from Scotland Yard. Bring it back. Canned soup in the recipe. Oh, that's. Oh, I see what you mean. Like the cream of mushroom or something. Like a Campbell's. And people say we Brit eats like there's a war on. I'll actually listen. Genuinely, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. In my mind, the hate for British food is both so forced. It is so forced and unfunny, and genuinely is just a thing of like. It's really rude in my mind. I don't know. Don't get me wrong. Lots of it I can understand, sure. There's the one pie that's got fish heads coming out of it, sure. But like lots of it, I've never understood the hate for it. Cause I feel like it's like, have you never had like a good, like a beef stew? Have you never had just like some classic, just like, I don't know, rabbit or whatever? Dude, there's lots of like, there's so many spices and they never did. Brother, have you never had potato leek soup? That thing slaps. What do you mean? I don't think people from Scotland Yard would be bobbies. No, they are. Bobby just is like a constable, isn't it? Isn't it just, which Scotland Yard's just the cops, right? Y'all making me hungry. Understandably. A lot of British food people grab out as stuff we don't actually eat, like stargazy pie or jellied eels, or it's food that really poor families are eating because they're scraping by. Well, even still, like the ones that like where they're like, no spice. It's like, listen, I'm all for. Don't get me wrong, I'm a white dude. I understand, but I'm all for. There are recipes I will cook with more cumin and chili powder and the like that you can shake a stick at. Like I'm all for mixing in all sorts of different herbs and spices, all 11 of them if you want. But by God, man. There are times you don't need to drown something in a spice to make it quote unquote edible. Sometimes if you have a really good cut of a certain type of meat, or if you have really fresh vegetables, or you saute things right, the simple parsnip, for example, can really shine if you got the time to baby it. Most people don't, though. I appreciate that. Most people don't have the time to like put in a full day's work to make like a few roast vegetables taste extraordinary. But you know, isn't Scotland Yard like important as opposed to the regular police who are not? I think they're kind of a little. I could be wrong, but I believe they kind of serve. Like Scotland Yard is not MI6 nor MI5. I believe Scotland Yard is kind of its own thing, not which controls the police. Which I get, like in Canada, I think they do the same thing with their RCMP, where they have CSIS, but then the RCMP is also like important, and then below them some provinces have police forces and some don't. I'm pretty confident. I think it's like that. I remember learning about all the structures before. And then France, I think, also does a thing where they have different sort of policing forces for different levels of things. Oh wait, I can set free all of the millions and billions of monsters who are definitely below this because I didn't light it up beforehand. Well, good news, it's daytime, I guess. Some British people are just easily pleased. I'll take a chip, buddy, any day of the week, and I am satisfied. Nothing else needed. Just salty chippy chips in a bomb. You tried to light it. The horse died. That's true. Rip that horse that died. something very funny. Hey, rip that horse that died, whoever that horse was. Is very funny to me. I don't know why. Just something about the total cavalier nature of just like, hey, yeah, rip to whoever that horse was. Sucks to be him, dude. Think he like died or something? Up. Wait, no, there we go. Me and Tyler were watching The Pit with our French friend Verge today. You have a French friend, and he's never come by Napoleon VII stream. Okay, I see how it is. So I tried to trick them both into watching Mon Oncle, but it did not work. Devastated. I'm so glad you watched it, and that you seem to enjoy it, dude. It's such a weird but interesting movie, both for like its time, for when it was made, but then, which, you know, I said all this in the subscript, but I don't know. I'm just super like interested in it, and I'm floored that you went so quickly. And what that was, I was chuffed to bits. Literally finished the message. No, I did. It didn't work. I know that you weren't able to convince them, but you did watch it. I'm referencing back to the fact that you went and watched it after that stream, is what I mean. That's what I'm excited about. I'm excited that you took the time to go watch it afterwards. I was like, wait. Oh, it's a stare. I see. Nap saw a thing he likes that goes off on a tangent. That doesn't sound like me. Did I misread it? Watching the Pit, a French friend, Verge, or tried to murder Mongolo. It did not work. Yeah, I read that it didn't work. Pie Barm is gorgeous. Now what is Pie Barm? Pie Barm? In Wigan, a whole savory pie is served in a barm cake, traditionally known locally as a pie barm or slappy. Famed across all of the UK, it has been more recently known as a Wigan kebab, including on the menu of many a football team. Huh? Everything sounds so silly. Everything sounds so whimsical there, man. Oh yeah, I meant you started crying because Virgin that never watched. I've never cried a day in my life. Never watched you despite being French. But yeah, it was silly and esoteric. You recommended it, and I've been watching movies a lot more lately. So I just like, yeah, whatever. Hey man, I'm glad you watched it. It is a weird movie. It is definitely one of the weirder ones that I tend to recommend to people, where I'm like, yeah, this one's probably not gonna hit. It's probably gonna be boring, but I've always gotten a kick out of it. But you call it a pie bomb because the bread is called barm. Why is the bread called barm? Did somebody named Barm make it? Like, what? It just seems like an odd... It doesn't really look like bread. It just kind of looks like crust. Not a big fan of veggie pies usually either, so I wouldn't have one. It looks good. I'd have one. Mushy peas. That's probably one of the few things that is still a UK staple, seemingly. That I'm like, not, like, you know, to each their own, and I'm like, I probably wouldn't go for mushy peas. Not really my thing. But fair ball. People like what they like. It's like I got there's some that are great treasures. Like I remember I got like a spice bag from this joint that was just like a little ways away from where I am, and I was like, oh baby, there's this dude who's selling spice bags. Aha! Your arrows have no effect on me, Mr. Skeleton Man. They're all coming out now. Spice? Like Star Wars space heroin? No, like Dune space psychedelics. Very different. Very different, you know? I forgot that one. Forgot which one. Huh? No spice as in seasoning, as in Asian salt and pepper blend, which is more than just salt and pepper. Then else. The hell was that? Oh, somebody transformed into a drown. That's what that was. I mean, there's lore connotations to that. Oh man, he's gone. I shall study this later. There's something to know about how I don't think I've witnessed a zombie become drowned before. I've found drowned before, but I don't think I witnessed a zombie transform and make the noise. Hey, David! You're never gonna believe this! The zombie got wet and turned into something new. There's more to discover here. You say that? That sounds like such a video game statement. Like there's more, like you haven't quite uncovered it. You know in what you call it? Outer Wilds, where like you could fill it apart, but it still have question marks over it if you like discovered part of it but not all of it, or had like the Outer Wilds reference. I should have realized. I should have realized you were doing it as the Outer Wilds reference. It is a video game statement. Got me there. Got me there. You know what? Fair ball, King. Man, I can't believe it took like 5 years for this moat to get built. Gee willikers, finally. You know? You'd think it would have gone quicker. I mean, it's MJ, John Outer Wilds. Just let him talk and he'll see my message eventually. I already read your message about Outer Wilds. What do you mean? Oh my God. Am I in a big delay? Is that what it is? Oh wait, I probably am still on a big delay, actually. I forgot I re-upped the delay. No, I didn't think it would be done any quicker. This is on pace. Oh yeah? This is on pace, is it? All right. Can remember that one. Can remember that for the same pace that I put into Fallout. wait, no, I think Tyler's gone. I was gonna say, I wanted to know more as to why he feels, because I am wondering, because I've only heard decent things about the Mandalorian and Grogu, so I'm curious as to why Tyler was seemingly quite adamant, we'll say, that it was like a bad movie. Because so far as I've heard, it was just, you know, kind of a fun little romp. Which is kind of his MO, you know? Oh. Creeper! Oh, man! 5 years is about right? Yes, I made you play Fallout longer intentionally. When did you beat the Ender Dragon? I don't even know it exists! I've yet to run into anything to tell me where to find the... Oh, well, actually, that's not totally true. Listen. There was a plan, and then I had to do rewrites, okay? I had to change some plans. Because it no longer seemed a good idea to tie certain things and certain people into the lore as time moved forward, and things changed. I've heard bad things from Star Wars fans, but I don't trust their judgment typically. That's fair. Nobody's more hateful of Star Wars than a Star Wars fan. Oh, God. Those are the same people who are like, bro, they nerfed Maul, brother. Maul has been in a constant decline since you first saw him, when he got chopped in half. His peak was his first appearance. He has only been in decline. Why would he shouldn't be able to do anything at this point? Oh, God. He's gotta be into lore. I heard it's a fun romp with little actual substance. That's fair, but that's kind of just like where Mandalorian was going. I'm surprised they made a movie, because so far as I heard, I didn't like the direction it went, so I never watched it. But season 3, like, of The Mandalorian seemed like it kind of wrapped everything up in a way that I'm like, I don't even know what there is to even make a movie about, you know? Other than just like the continued adventures of Mando and Grogu. I also think it was I'll admit, not in a hateful way, I will say, I do think it was silly that they did like a crossover with Family Guy. Can a movie not just be fun, silly, goofy romp? As an art student and belief that everything made by people is art and has meaning, some things can just be silly adventures. Oh, totally. And that's the thing, it's like, I think, I mean, this is, I will say this, not unlike Grand Theft Auto 6, for different reasons, Mandalorian is a big deal for the sake of Star Wars. It's the first Star Wars movie they've made since Rise of Skywalker. They put a whole bunch of stuff on hold. They really did screw up, you know, whether you like the sequels or not, and there's people who love them, and that's fine. You know, one way or another, the truth of the matter is they certainly harmed their base or lost their base of people who would, you know, go and see a movie 100 times in theaters, kind of things. Like Star Wars as a brand or an IP or whatever you want to see it as became diluted and lost some of its, some of which may be caused actually by the fact they started doing the TV shows, which Marvel kind of has the same problem, where they lost some prestige. So this is their first crack again at doing a Star Wars movie. So they kind of, my opinion on the matter was, I was like, I kind of expect them to just do a fun romp. I think they're gonna play it very safe and just try to make something that people will be like, yeah, that was fun. Not particularly memorable, not particularly risk-taking, which I would argue is somewhat antithetical to the origins of Star Wars as this massive risk of a movie. of like a original intellectual property, but I think movies should have any amount of substance, especially the ones that used to have substance, especially Star Wars. They should be substantial, or let it die. Well, that's like, I can see that point as well. I think, I do think Indy's right in the sense that, like, I don't think every movie needs to be, 10 out of 10 masterpiece. In the same way that I have that problem with gaming, where I find people, Starfield's my easiest example, where people are like, oh, it was trash, because it was like a 7 out of 10 game, and it's like, yeah, some games are 7 out of 10. That's not a bad game. Similarly, some movies are, that's a good 7 out of 10. You could argue, well, in today's day and age, with so much to see and so many things vying for your attention, why should you give your eyeballs to something that's 7 out of 10 when you could be watching all 10 out of 10? To which I would also respond, it's good to watch, not that the 7 out of 10 is bad, but it's good to watch bad movies. It's good to read bad books. It's good. It's I think it's bad to only try to consume, quote unquote, the best of the best. Because ultimately it stops being the best of the best. Like, if you have no point of comparison, and equally interesting ideas can appear. Like, there's a lot of movies, like the sequels. I spent, which I'm not going to rehash here because we don't got the time. I full on wrote with a friend of mine one night just for fun, because he became an author and stuff like that, or a screenwriter, and he wanted to, and we both love Star Wars and stuff like that, and it's like, I wonder if we started with the same premise and tried to, with changing as little as possible, could we rewrite the sequels beats to still hit better and like be a more succinct trilogy. And so, with stuff like that, it's like, I think it's still good though to like make use of, like, there's good nuggets even in the ones that I think were poorly made. Was the point I was making there, of like, there is still benefit and good nuggets and stuff like that to be found even in subpar material. And I'm not saying anybody's saying that's not the case. Wait, is this the same world that we met each other at? By the way, hi Dab, long time no see. Yo, Kuma, how do? This is still the same hardcore world. I believe you may have originally shown up for the RSMP, but this is definitely still the same hardcore world. It's almost 5 years old. You calm down. Be high art and culture masterpiece. The Mandalorian movie also could have been more, and it should have respected the fans. Yeah, well, and that's the thing, is like, I also don't feel it's necessarily, much that I love to get into the weeds with Star Wars, and I think it's particularly with the amount of monetary return that companies that make it get simply for calling something Star Wars and product, to get that quote unquote trust of a fan. So I do think that care should always be taken for like being the guardians of that legacy. I equally do think some fans kind of lose the plot that it is space wizard samurai just going around and dealing with big ball that blows up planets, and like, because that's the thing, it's like, also the first Star Wars, like, a lot of Star Wars fans were like, I hate cheesy writing. It's like, well, then you hate Star Wars. you what do you mean? Like, so much of 4, 5, and 6 is so cheesy. It's Flash Gordon. It's so cheesy. And that's why I like it, but my biggest complaint about The Mandalorian is that they made all the Lego sets this year about The Mandalorian and Smart Play. I'm sorry. I need to. Let's all take a breath. Let's all calm down. Anyway, if I only played the best games and read the best books, I wouldn't have found a lot of my favorites. Exactly. That's the thing. It's like lots of things. It's like lots of things that become people's favorite movies or books or whatever, oftentimes are not good, but have a whole lot of interesting elements in them, and that can be enough. it's like, oh, there's a lot of cool, like for instance, those sequels, I think the main characters of those sequels are infinitely interesting. I think they were very poorly used, but infinitely interesting. I am falling for the merchandise boy. I own Mando Soda Pop. That said soap. I don't know why I read that as soda pop. I read merchandise and I was just thinking of like tie-in Coca-Cola. And I read it as just, I don't know, I think I read it as so, like S-O, and I put a D in between the A, and then I saw a P, and so I went soda pop, of course. Anyway, I'll head out now. Nice to have a great rest of your night, day and night. Bye, everyone. Bye, Kuma. Have a great rest of your night. It was great seeing you. Take care. I hope the years have been kind. I've watched 24 different amateur and professional productions of the Lightning Thief musical. Some really good, most mediocre, and a few quite bad. And I've watched them all. Almost all of them bring something really interesting to the musical, where there was almost always something I really appreciate, even when there wasn't. It was still informative to be able to say, these were the reasons I didn't like it. Absolutely. I mean, you could drink soap. It would be nice, but you could. Is it because my name is Fanta Ghost on Discord now? Maybe. That is something you did go get recently. It's okay. I'm going to make a boatload of money off the Manhandled and Groglit for our fantasy movie league and finally dethrone Mello's lead with Devil Wears Prada 2 and Mario Galaxy. Oh, awesome. But yeah, well, that's the thing is yeah, I think it's one of those things of like, for such a, at one point coveted, you know, they paid billions for this IP originally for what was once this like really prestigious thing, not as high art, but as like an icon of media. It's a little diluted these days, and it's a little okay, cool. I mean, I think Mandalorian could have ended after season 1. Season 2 was good. Never watched season 3. I kind of think they should have ended after season 1. Not had Moff Gideon continue and just end it. Hey, here was some fun episodes of some stuff happening in the galaxy. Neat. But well. Fans asked for more. And fans, I will also say, but like, don't get me wrong. I will also say fans often don't know what they actually want. For instance, I would say a lot of people at one point post like Avengers Endgame or whatever were like, man, I just want like a Matt Murdock lawyer series. We, you know, because they had Daredevil already, and they're like, they could make like a rom-com, especially after like WandaVision and stuff like that, where they're like, what if Marvel just started making these Marvel like movies or shows, but like just as like a legal drama, or like as a you know, like a season of a hospital show during the snap or after the snap or blah, 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 blah. I remember that was such a common thing talked about as like, wow, wouldn't it be cool? They could do anything in this cinematic universe. They've made such a big sandbox to play in. Anyway, then She-Hulk came out and people got really mad that they did anything that wasn't just like superheroes, you know? To quote Cinema Wins Guy, every movie is somebody's favorite, and I want to find out why, and I like to try and follow that mentality. I agree. I entirely agree. Like Nap, welcome to the final Nap stream. Huh? Something came from watching 24 amateur productions is that my favorite actor for Clarice is not the pro Broadway version. She's probably not even top 5. Films, TV shows, and games need to know when to stop sometimes. Like Nap, welcome to the... Oh, you wish. You wish, you know? No more nap. Unnap? Napping? Are we waking up from the nap? No. No, you're not allowed. You're quick fan service. Oh, David, my beloved. How are you? Wouldn't it be crazy if I walked through this door and lore started? Yeah, it would. It would. It's not gonna, but wouldn't that have been insane? If, like, it hard cut into war like that, you know? Hi, David. How you doing? Oh, good, good. Yeah, no, they wanted to see you. Got some gravel? Oh, you're running tests on it. Why? David? Left here? What do you mean left here? Who left gravel on your front porch? What? What do you mean? Who's them? David, you're not going to talk to them. David, don't go to bed. David! This isn't... We're talking about this later. My God. I think he's messing around with those Endermen. I don't like it. I don't like it. Everyone's favorite game show, Lore Orbit! Light lore, light lore. So, Enderman just showed up and pounded gravel on Demon's door. Yeah, what do you think of that? Leaves. Oh. Nap watching David sleep. He didn't get to fall asleep yet. He got cranky and went down to bed. He said, I'm going to bed. What? We're not done discussing this. Where are you going? Hey! Rolls over. Pillow over the ear. I'm not listening. My God, you're acting like a child. Why is my phone just not taking anything I type? Why is Character Nap restricting who David is allowed to talk to? Seems pretty controlling to me. Because there's a disease around, Gred. There's a disease. And I don't want him to catch it. And those Endermen are dangerous. They hurt people. Just if you look at them wrong. Gonna do some light reading. David's always doing light reading. David always got his nose stuck in a book. It's actually a redeeming quality. Hey, Timothy. How goes it? You doing all right, champ? Good. Anyway, some of my favorite Star Wars media, Star Wars Visions. That one was fantastic. Where they let all those different anime studios have a crack at things. That was great. They're just autistic. They don't like eye contact. There's not liking something, and then there's attacking people. And man, do they swing, dude. Call him Louis Armstrong. My God. Now why... Oh my God. speak of the devil and they shall appear. Stop naming things. These freaks won't let you lose them. What do you mean? What did I name? What, Timothy? He's been around forever. Nap, you haven't done the thing yet. What thing? What thing haven't I done? The water. Oh, with the what do you call it? Oh, with the kelp. You're right. That's why it's causing issues. I didn't put the kelp down. Thought it was Elliot. He is. Who's Timothy? It's Timothy and Timothy. And then Elio. But then there's Timothy and Timothy. There's two llamas. Or as Pink once said, Timma and Thee. Or Timo and A. That is a deep cut, in fairness. I don't think we've said that for years. Somebody get Pink on the horn. Somebody call him. Call him up. Get him back here. All right, we're going back. You know what? We're jump starting the lore again. I need somebody get me Mythic Killer and Pink, baby. Get him back here. Oh god. Oh, do not get Pink on the horn. Don't get any of them on the horn. I thought there'd be kelp in there. Anyway, do kickstart the lore again for me. Hey, there's plans in the work, mayhaps, you know. One of the largest pauses to the lore certainly came from a need for rewrites, and equally a gotcha. I don't think half those people would show up to speak. Would speak to us. No, I don't think so either. Well. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Mythic's off doing awesome, cool, like animation stuff. So they're out being busy. Anyway. Oh, I have to make all of this source blocks. Oh, who am I? Fails of Minecraft. This sucks. Oh, why did I choose to do this? Kind of forgot about my Gato say. No worries, dude. Like I said, we've I think a lot of that is gonna stay relative canon, but otherwise, I'd sort of begun the process of pivoting from it because it created a lot of problems long term, it seemed. This is the thing, Nap. You don't have to make them all them source blocks. You just can't mess it up. Well, you say that, but maybe it's worth it. for some reason, you know. Maybe I make them all source blocks and life's good after that, you know. Maybe I make them all source blocks and boy howdy, everybody's like, whoa. He's doing real builder techniques. Wow. And I go, yeah, I'm pretty cool. Started using them as a filing cabinet. My God. You are the sole individual who has messaged me on Discord. Like, there's people who've cold messaged me for like random SMPs to join, stuff like that, like lots of other things. And I think Gret is the only one that Discord has ever just been like, no messages, no. I think well, that's not true. I think Ali also has had issues with it before. I forget what they said they were trying to message me about, but they were trying to message me about something at one point. I finally developed my God OC after years of sitting in my hands, and then we shelved them. Well, listen, there's a handful that I think are likely to still be included in a veritable capacity. The change is not that they don't exist. The change is I realized I probably should not make lore elements dependent on non-controllable factors. That's the best way to phrase that, I think. Nap hates me. Nap hates me! So true. So true. That's why we played Portal. Pure hatred. We played Portal out of pure hatred. I did it just to spite you. I'm still gonna use my God OC percent. I don't know what yet. I hope so. And equally, I still have a Excel document with all of the information still in it. So rest assured, my plan still involves like referential material towards each, and even some that'll probably have more direct impacts. I just wanted to decouple the like main theme from it. Because I think in many ways the theme of the hardcore world changed as well. Thanks for arriving at the joke. Thanks. I'm just lost because I can message people and Naps can receive messages, but something about the two of us together screws something in the system. Mr. Discord himself just nukes the message every time. I like my God OC, especially that they're kind of dead. Very fun for me. Love that. Yeah, well, that's the thing. If nothing else, I still think they're great for the sheer creativity that they put on display. So many of you actually put out put out just really interesting like ideas and character themes that I think, yeah, are not just like interesting to explore, but are interesting to explore in relation to like. I find divinity and gods as a very interesting theme and story to begin with because I find the unknowable to be fascinating. And equally, it's like, I find a lot of fascination in whatever that half step is meant to be of a demigod, because that's often very, very different. Sure, you have your Percy Jackson style, then you have your actual mythic Hercules, but then those myths, you know, sometimes they're actually godly figures or become gods themselves. And then, you know, and is it like, oh, they have divine blood, so they're blessed, or is it, you know, which is more of an Abrahamic way of seeing it, where it's more like, oh, they're like an important prophet-esque figure, where they're like connected to the will of the gods, or are they tormented by the gods? It's just the gods' ire is upon them. You know, it kind of like the what do you call it? Fifth word in the Odyssey, which is often translated very differently depending on the edition. It's been a point of argument for a long, long time. Bah. And so anyway, I found that to be a very interesting in even just how it frames against a character like Nap. That's like, oh, what is it to be a being that seems to not be allowed to stop being? You know what I mean? Total legit lore spoilers. I didn't just make up. Nap is the demigod child of the god of reincarnation. No comment. No comment. Terrible, awful idea, by the way. What's a terrible, awful idea? Do I make Eldritch Horde a monstrosity for the hardcore world? I do like Eldritch Horde. That's the thing is, I think I also equally, and maybe that's just because I like fantasy a lot, find a great interest in the idea of like divinity and gods. Like, you know, all deities are gods, but not all gods are deities is a very firm belief that I have of in terms of like building worlds and writing and stuff like that. What Gred does in your DMs. Incredible security risk. So far, it's not burned them. I can't say that it's not a security risk. Boy, howdy, if an update ever rolls out and I just open Discord one day, it's like, you have 999 messages. And it's just, bam! Oh. It will have bit you then. Nap wouldn't have my home address, but he does have my full name and hometown in my face. Good God, man. I'm with MJ. This is a security risk. I'll never understand the youths. Why don't you all just why don't you all just lock yourselves away like a hermit like I do, where you ping your IP everywhere possible that you can and buy burner numbers from 3 different nations so that you can list them as business numbers for things, so that you don't have to ever worry about anybody ever figuring out who you are. Oh, good. I used to lock myself away, then over time I loosened up. Terrible move. That's when they get you. MJ, that's not very nice. Why would you say that to Gred? Gred specifically. Just Gred, not me. Just Gred. Why would you say that to Gred? That's a very not nice thing to say to Gred. A good pal, Gred. That's a crazy statement. Why would you say that to somebody? That seems so mean. That seems so mean. Why would you say that? You're not the standard. I agree. Gred is not the standard. You're so right. You're so right. That's so true. And a meme of an ominous silhouette of the caption, the guy who's been talking to himself in your DMs just for me. Now, don't get defensive on my behalf. I'm afraid. You don't like being a recluse? Well, recluse is such a strong word, you know. That's, you know. Like a recluse would be somebody who, like, for the past 5 years didn't go out on a Friday night, you know, and instead played make-believe and Minecraft. That would be crazy. Oh, God. Hey, you know what? It keeps you sane sometimes. It keeps you sane. Sometimes the craziest thing you can do keeps you the most sane. You ever had the gram of paper? I just was like, man, what if I just was able to shut my brain off and yap for 4 hours? Then I would feel sane again and be able to return to reading Wendy Brown's theory on radical democracy and democratization. Oh, baby. Well, we can't use the term hermit. Legal issues, copyright, and so... They don't own it! Oh my God. Truly, the real legal issues I feel I would face would be the fact I said chuffed to bits earlier. That may be, you know, I don't think I've ever met another person who says that, so that may be a copyrighted phrase, you know? Pop, pop, pop. What do you guys think actually will be? MJ, you said it's going to be a big Minecraft live, didn't you? Or it's speculated to be? I wonder what it will be. I wonder if it'll be a big thing or if it'll be more about that theme park. What is it like to mine in real life? Lady. Lady, what the hell do you mean? Get a pickaxe. What do you mean? That's a real object that actually exists. Oh my God. Square Burger? I wonder if they'll get sued. I wonder if they'll get sued by Wendy. Not the company Wendy's, but the person themselves, Wendy. Wendy Mora Angela Darling, you know? No, normally what I would do is sit silently, watch you yap for 4 hours, then walk to class building and write my essay through the night. Okay, so once again, sleep schedules, ladies and gentlemen, important things. Truly important things. I actually think I deleted the thing with my hometown and full name and decluttered the DMs. I like that it's just like a cork board for you. Do you guys think they make Cork in County Cork? In the County Cork? What do you think about that? Like, presumably, right? Yes, they are important. So true, Tiger. So true. Speaking of, I hope you are. I assume so because you're here, which usually tends to be an indicator of your sleep schedule being on a pretty good uptick, on a pretty good solid vibe. Your DMs are many things. Note shape, corkboard, filing cabinet, all rolled into one. Insane. I don't have many predictions. None at all? I mean, surely it's the end update. Surely it's the end update, all right? Listen. Surely it's the end update. There's no way that it's not, you know? I mean, and we're also, the portal in the Deep Dark is also gonna be, you know? It's both the portal in the Deep Dark, in the ancient cities, and the end update, the end of all updates. They think it's gonna be big because it's actually live, but it could be anything. Maybe, hopefully, Dungeons 2 news. I don't care about Dungeons 2. I want end update, man. Come on. End update gets announced in Minecraft world with a special ride. Yeah, they just shoot you into a dragon. One of my messages, vivid dreams is a side effect. and they're often influenced by what I was thinking about, reading, watching during the day. So it is what it is. The other night, Sonic.exe tried to get me. It didn't work. I just stood there. Try harder, buddy. So what I'm hearing is that you're gonna have a dream in the hardcore world. So what I'm hearing is you're gonna. What I'm hearing is you're gonna see Leaside Nap. What I'm hearing is you're gonna see a past Nap get stabbed to death by somebody they love. My God, crazy. Sonic.exe is not a. I didn't expect that. But look at that reaction time, baby. Stop, drop, and roll. Run into the moat. Well, good thing we can repair. Where'd he even come from? Uncalled for, dude. Uncalled for. Nap, you missed the message before that. I very well could dream about the hardcore. Yeah. W, pretty good. Yeah, the nightmares wake me up better than an alarm. Well, now I feel bad for the jokes. Well, now I feel bad for doing a bit about the hardcore world. My God. I care about it, so you have to. Oh yeah? Oh yeah? How much of Warhammer 3 do you know about, MJ? Huh? How much of Fantasy Warhammer do you know about, huh? How much about the old world? You know what? Maybe that's next stream. Maybe next stream we play Warhammer. Maybe that's what we do, huh? Where everybody just watches me play strategy game and yap about lore for a fantasy world nobody knows about. There is a war! There is a war! There's orcs and a war! I'm gonna lose my mind! The 40k feeds! These bastards! It's Warhammer Fantasy's the first fantasy! Gonna lose my mind. Oh, sorry, I blacked out for a second. Sorry, I blacked out for a second. Is Warhammer 3 the one before 40k? Yeah, so Warhammer Fantasy, originally just called Warhammer. The reason that Warhammer 40,000 or 40k is called 40k is because that was a secondary property made after the initial success of Warhammer, which later became known as Warhammer Fantasy. Originally, it was just called Warhammer. Which is their fantasy world, which was originally a battle game made up, part of the kind of just to like let people use any and all of the miniatures they had at the time, because people had miniatures for like Napoleonic War games or for medieval knight games or for British regular infantry or for like Lord of the Rings games. So there was lots of these things through the 80s. And so, because of that, the Games Workshop's original product was a world or rule set that eventually came with a world with which all of these different miniatures could be used in. It didn't matter where they came from. Something could use them. I only have medieval knights. Okay, well, that sounds like you're going to use Bretonnia. I only have miniatures for like simplistic flintlocks and like steel, guns and steel, guns, germs, and steel type deal, Renaissance-esque stuff. Okay, that goes with the Empire of Man. I have ancient Greek and Roman soldiers. That's the Myrmidons. Okay, I have I have elves from Lord of the Rings. Well, that can be the High Elves. A world of Warcraft. But yes, also indie. Yes, I should rephrase. Yeah, there are orcs and was. Mork and Gork both come from the fantasy world. Also, originally, the Fantasy World and 40K were meant to be the same universe until eventually the same Earth, until eventually they decided, actually, we're going to change it. That the Fantasy World is its own world and not Earth. Because they wanted to do magic and stuff like that. It's got a very interesting history. Honestly, you know what? I don't think I've ever plugged anything like this before. If anybody's interested in that kind of a thing or genre, and they have a fantasy roleplay game, kind of like a D&D game. There's a live play with a former author of like 30 years with the company who left on bad terms originally, but because of creative differences with Games Workshop's monetary or like kind of efforts to squeeze every last bit of money they could out of people and also destroy the fantasy world because they were like, I just want to make 40K. Andy Law is his name. He's also a cartographer. He does a lot of cartography for a lot of fantasy books. He runs a actual play called Lawhammer. Highly recommended. It's on YouTube. It's got a bunch of episodes. Anyway, but beyond that, yeah, there's lots of orcs. That's where like Grimgor Ironhide is, Azag the Slaughterer, and so on and so forth. And they go whoosh. Have a good scrap. Exactly. I'm not like the hugest Warhammer gal, but love me my orcs. They're, to my knowledge, like the least problematic group in the setting. They just want to have a good fight. Yeah, and that's true. Fantasy and 40K, where they're just like, they're not chaos aligned. They're also not order aligned. They just all got my big chopper. I just want to live a big scrap. Yeah, bleed them. I mean, actually, I will also say Warhammer orcs, terrifying creatures. Like one Warhammer in lore, at least, one Warhammer orc is like able to take like 50 people down, like 50 armed people before being killed. It's like they are monstrous. Also, they get bigger the more people they kill. They are fueled by war magic of just like fighting. Fighting is all they want. Have a good crumpin', that's all they're looking around. You could be good guys, bad guys, neutral guys. They just want to fight. It's true. In fact, there was one of the events in Fantasy Warhammer literally just has one of the main character orcs that show up and just kick in the teeth of the head of Chaos, the Chaos Ever Chosen. Just cause he's like, I heard it was a big deal. No one's a bigger deal than me. I gotta go fight him. And he wins. So once you find one, more are coming. Exactly, my God. I really do like the orcs. They're great. They're also fungus, which is crazy. It's crazy. They're fungus people. It's crazy. But yeah, the Warhammer 3 just added Bashiva, who's a new legendary lord for Grand Cathay. She's a tiger lady. She's a tiger lady. That's what she is. She can teleport around and kills people. Is a Warhammer orc army is hard to build because you just need so many orcs. True. And actually, see, I've never played the actual tabletop because I don't want to take out a loan, which I would need to just for Warhammer. My God, it's expensive. First thing, front page, Steam, Warhammer 40K. Yeah, they just had their Skulls event. For so a bunch of stuff's on sale, I believe. Because yeah, so they I think yesterday was their big Skulls event where, of course they revealed one Warhammer Fantasy new thing, which isn't even new. It was a DLC that I already knew was coming out. And then everything else for that whole freaking hour was just 40K. Oh wait, no, that's not true. They had one Age of Sigmar game they announced as well, which is also, you know, in fairness, Age of Sigmar doesn't get a lot of love either, where you play the Skaven. And I was like, well, fair enough. Skaven are fun. I hate them. I hate them deeply. I hate them deeply and dearly. But they're interesting. There is stuff on sale. I may grab Darktide. I love Hoarder Shooter. If Vermintide's on sale, I highly recommend that as well. Vermintide's a great game. I think 40k looks cool. Yeah, 40k is cool. I mean, all the different what do you call it? All of the like Warhammer 40k isn't my thing, but it's certainly cool. Has lots of deep lore. People love it. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to put water at the bottom. I managed to grab Vermintide for free at some point, I believe. Hey, that is an excellent free pickup. £8 for Darktide. Happy day. So like, real talk, is a quid like $1 and like a pound like $2? Is that what it is? Like what is a quid versus $1 or versus a pound? Like, I know it's a pound sterling. Oh yeah, do you like the fantasy series more than the Apocalypse? Okay, oh, that is okay. First of all, you got me. Damn. But also, in my defense, the Warhammer Fantasy is also grimdank, and equally is always is literally destined to end forever and ever. The end times will happen. It's a world set 5 minutes to midnight, always destined to end and be destroyed. That is literally like, it is like, there's no good ending for the fantasy world, and never will be or can be. Like, lore-wise, its existence and the great plan by the old ones is literally just for that place to be blown up so that Age of Sigmar can exist. So, like, you know, it's sad. It's not all happy days. Mind you, that's also a lot of fantasy. Lord of the Rings is technically kind of like that as well. Quid and pound are interchangeable. It's slang. Oh. $1 a buck. Oh, okay. I always thought quid was like a lesser amount. Like, I thought it'd be like, oh, this thing's like 8p, and then it'd be like, yeah, but it's this many pounds, whatever, you know? Or is p like pence? Trying to understand how this works. So, they can install a parking lot. Pretty much, yep. Literally just the guy who became the CEO of Warhammer, or well, of Games Workshop, didn't like the fantasy, did like Warhammer 40k, thought fantasy was lame nerd stuff because it's dwarves and elves and whatever. And so he's like, well, I'm gonna get a bunch of authors who've actually not even read the source material to then make up an end for how this world happens in a series of a few books where everybody is out of character and everybody drinks their lobotomy juice beforehand, and it's probably quite famously one of the single worst handlings of like an end of a series ever. And then retroactively we're like, anyway, this thing that's meant to have been, which also they tried to sell it as though it was like a celebration of Warhammer for its 50th anniversary or whatever. And they were like, yeah, well, you know, celebrate all the years. Yeah, send it off at a big bang. Yeah. Anyway, we don't really want to make new minis for any of this, and we don't really want to publish new lore or anything or new maps. Because we actually have just retroactively decided the purpose of this whole world was to launch our new kind of sci-fi fantasy thing in Age of Sigmar. Which also, in fairness, a lot of people like Age of Sigmar too. You know, it's all right. It's got its place. People like it. It's popular. There's pen/p when you might hear 5 pence called bob, so 25p will be 5 bob. The next slang for currency is quid. There's also a fiver, a tenner for £5 and £10 note respectively. Fiver and tenner I've heard, but I've heard those is just like, you know, people talking about $5 or $10 or whatever, you know. Interesting though. I think it would be cool to leave it in the same universe at different time points. I like when series do that. I think it's stupid when people try to do it with Fallout and Skyrim. But yeah, well, so the issue that arrived with that was that the Warhammer 40k world, they decided that Earth was like it all came from our Earth, and it's way in the future of like our timeline. And so they do still exist in the same universe. Just it's more kind of like almost like Aperture and Black Mesa, maybe a little less explicit than that, in the way that like there will be occasional references in one to the other. You know, the old ones are in both, the Slann are in both, but the Slann are very different in each. You know, they're basically gods in the fantasy one, whereas they are like just kind of powerful beings in 40k. Chaos is the same, like they're the same gods, both have Khorne and Tzeentch and whatnot. Part of the other problem is also, you know, the fantasy one, they also continue to run into issues of like copyright issues, because fantasy was made at a time where they couldn't make it today. It would be put into litigation so quick. The Michael Moorcock estate would just obliterate them entirely. They've recently actually had to change, for the longest time, their Dark Elf leader, the like leader of that faction. They've changed his name to Malarian instead of he was Malekith, but that was literally just because the author writing him in the 80s liked the Marvel Dark Elf Malekith. Snap, I don't know who Michael Moorcock is. Oh, Michael Moorcock? Oh! Show of hands, how many people know who Michael Moorcock is? Fun fact, he's your favorite fantasy writer. He's your favorite, like, fantasy author's favorite fantasy author. Pretty well from Game of Thrones to, barring Lord of the Rings, from Game of Thrones to Conan the Barbarian to anything and everything you're gonna, like, everything. If you read one of, like, Michael Moorcock's books, everything will feel cliche and ripped off from other things, and that is actually the reverse. He came up with it all. He's where D&D's magic system comes from. He's where the idea of like the fantasy, you know, chaos versus order, the laws of the gods of chaos and the gods of law is what he does. Warhammer changed it to order instead of law. Elric is the series it surrounds a character named Elric. It's where D&D's magic system comes from. It's where a lot of the ideas of dark elves and high elves come from. I'll get you the exact name. He invents the multiverse like idea for like a lot of fiction. Eternal Champion is the main one, which is the Elric saga. But he's done a few. He was responsible for the advent of cyberpunk as a genre. I guess the main one, the most famous one is the Eternal Champion series, which I believe is where, Elric and Conan the Barbarian and a bunch of other things come from. Law and Order, Law and Chaos. Not Law and Order. Quite literally, like, he in fantasy writing, he is a term, like Morkakian is a term, for, like, in the same way as Tolkien, or Tolkien-esque. Those two, Tolkien and Michael Moorcock, are the two individuals that shaped what fantasy is, as a genre, basically. The ideas, though, of like an astral sea or like a multiverse or, barbarians and wizards, like all the different classes in D&D and like all those different, like many of the monsters from D&D that are famous, all kind of come from Michael Moorcock's work originally. And in the 80s and 90s, he just didn't like try to copyright claim things. And then as time moved forward, all the little companies in the 80s that like Games Workshop that made Warhammer, or like Wizards, or not Wizards of the Coast, but like Dungeons and Dragons, which came up, which was originally not made by Wizards of the Coast. I'm blanking on the name of Gary Gygax's company. But all these different things that started to crop up kind of just used his ideas and ripped them off. In the same way that like the Shadow Priests in Game of Thrones are like a ripoff of Michael Moorcock, or the stuff behind the wall, the Whites and stuff like that. That's also ripped out of Michael Moorcock. Anyway, the Eternal Champion series is the name. It's highly recommended. It's great. I mean, it doesn't read amazing. It reads all right, but a lot of it's hard. Like a lot of the elements that don't read well because you're like, yeah, I know what this is gonna be, and you know what it's gonna be because other people have ripped it off, basically. Anyway, that's your homework for the weekend. Go learn of Michael Moorcock. Nothing new under the sun because everyone copied off Michael Moorcock entirely. No, I forget where it was, like Fantasy Con or something like that. Anyway, a bunch of authors were asked, like Brandon Sanderson, who also is famous, who has admitted, same with Patrick Rothfuss and a bunch of others, and George R. R. Martin. We're all kind of like asked at this panel, like, oh yeah, like who do you think had the most impact on fantasy writing, Tolkien or Michael Moorcock? And they're like, I mean, Tolkien absolutely like sets the benchmark of the idea of elves and like that kind of like elves and dwarves and that world building. And well, let me tell you this. All the authors on that stage were like, I think I gotta go Michael Moorcock because I ripped off so much of his stuff, and everybody, and it's like, and every other famous author just yanks stuff from him. I'm already on his Wikipedia looking into his bibliography. Hey! Well, hopefully, I'm glad to send people his way. He is he's the godfather. If Tolkien is the grandfather of all of modern fantasy writing, then Michael Moorcock is definitely the godfather of contemporary fantasy writing. In the sense that like Tolkien's work kind of reads a little difficult these days. It's like stylistically, it's over 100 years old. You know, it's like in terms of his style, he's writing in a very like early 1900s style always, even for his works published in the 50s. Well, I like where this is gone. I think I'm gonna do moss maybe around it. Well, maybe it shouldn't be moss. Nah, moss will make it look good. I was gonna do moss because I was like, oh, maybe it should be clean because it's in use or whatever. But nah, it just naturally would get some moss around it and the like, you know? But yeah, anyway, he's hugely important to the genre. I think he may have also wrote Black Company. Moss and algae and lichen and stuff would totally build up. Yeah, exactly. That's why I was like, that should absolutely be built up down around it. Even though I was like, oh, but it's a new build. But I was like, oh, but I want it to be. Yeah, it's not getting cleaned daily. Exactly. And well, especially with the population where it's at right now, no way it's getting cleaned daily. Oh wait, no, it'd be over in the actual storage area. But yeah, even like DC rips off some elements of it. That's where you get like Dr. Fate and that whole idea of the Lords of Chaos and Lords of Law and stuff like that. He's truly like, once you read his stuff, you go, oh wow, he's everywhere. In a way that's like, you know, every author will always pay him his due, but it's always, you know, well, they're not looking to pay his estate, so. No, mind you, nor do I necessarily think they should. It is one of the great plights, I would say, of modern writing and modern creation. Kinda is the like vice, like iron grip that people have on their intellectual property to not let others use it. You know what I mean? It's like part of the problem with IP law, which, you know, if you want to learn more about my exact thoughts on, boy howdy, is there a whole YouTube video that delves into this with using the rotosicle from TikTok in the early 2020s as a jumping off point on the YouTube channel. Wow. So, you know, if that's something that you would like, then feel free to go to the YouTube channel. Oh yeah, I remember that OBE. You remember my Order of the British Empire? You remember me getting my OBE? That's crazy. Officer, not order. We're also videos of varying quality. True, if you also feel you want to rewatch all of the last several years of my streaming, the VODs channel. This one's gonna be pretty low if Nap keeps talking. What do you mean? Went out to buy some mango ice cream with chili powder. Ooh. You know, I don't think I've ever had ice cream with like a spice with capsaicin. It's great. I mean, hey. I actually may have to go looking for that. That sounds like it'd be. I feel like it'd be into like it being cold while simultaneously being spicy. Assuming it has the like any semblance of spice. It may not. It may just be the tang of spice rather than actual heat. But anyway, yeah, no, strongly do I believe that, you know, modern IP laws and the like have largely led to the death of creativity. Or rather, really harangued it to make it very difficult for new things to be made because things beget things. You know, the Rolling Stones, a lot of their albums are all built off jazz standards. A lot of the music of the 60s and 70s and that early like is built off of jazz standards of the early 1900s. It's like, oh gee whiz, well, they would have been sued into the ground today. Or similarly, it's like, you know, a lot like getting away with it by calling it homages happens sometimes, but you know, almost all of the spaghetti westerns would have been sued into the ground by the Kurosawa samurai films if it was today. You know, Star Wars couldn't have happened. It's a Dune and Flash Gordon ripoff. Like, you know. And I say that with love, because like it's not, but it is. You know what I mean? I would say it's not, it's its own thing, but it's got enough in it that in the modern day, it would be sued and not able to stand on its own. Culture begets culture, stories build on stories, and it is ludicrous how much of a tight fist is put onto that. You know, the original, like, I mean, this is ancient, almost ancient at this point, or well, medieval, I should say, late medieval. but like original intellectual property laws were set to like 11 years. You had 11 years to make money off something, and then guess what, buddy? It's public domain. And subsequently, you know, other ideas like, oh, well, yeah, until the author, you know, dies. No, like, you know, Walt Disney's been dead for years. Doesn't matter. Just Steamboat Willie's in the popular domain. It's almost Summer Game Fest as well. I know. Also, on June 7th, I believe, is when the next PlayStation trailer fest is, which I'm excited for as well, because I'm hoping for some more Wolverine information. Not that I own a PS5 to play it to begin with, but boy, will I be happy when it eventually comes to PC. Oh, I have some like frozen fruit bar things I got. I could get one. Ooh, a little snack. Here in Mexico, it's more common to eat sweets with spicy things. Is that like? I've had before. Mexican corn on the cob that was that way, and similarly like popcorn as well. That was like this mix of like spices and like sweet and spice. It's why I struggle so much with my writing. Like, so many fantasy stuff exists, and I have to walk on eggshells to not seem like I'm copying anyone too much when I'm not trying to copy anyone, period. Exactly. Well, and that's the thing, is like, part of that is like liberating yourself to be like, I'm just gonna write what I write and put it out. Part of it's getting an editor to be able to say, okay, this is too much like this. You know, that's down the line, obviously, but I feel writing for fun is also just to be like, well, writing for fun or for publication is truly about like finding that middle ground of like letting yourself be free to create while also not holding yourself to too high of a standard. Because ultimately there's what is it, 7 stories? Like there's 7 types of stories or whatever. It's like, yeah, of course you're gonna get influenced by we are all that we have consumed. You are always gonna be drawing from something you may not even remember having read or seen. That's why I write fan fiction. Yeah, well, that's another great outlet for that. PlayStation State of Play announced for Tuesday, June 2nd, featuring Marvel's Wolverine, Weaver Summer Game Fest. Wolverine, baby! It's a cultural thing. It's been going on since before the Spanish. Hey! That's actually, that's so cool that like it's able to, I don't know, I find a lot of that stuff really interesting, like where those kind of traditions can still, like we're still passed down and upkept and the like. Distinctive culture in it. Okay, good. I was like, will it let me sleep? Ugh. Gang, I don't mean to pull the plug too early. I think I'm losing my voice. I think I yelled too much about Star Wars. I'm gonna be so real. I think I let my excitement get away from me. My voice went like I started yelling. and the come down from that has been slow, and I keep getting myself heated, which is common for Minecraft, but it's been so long and I haven't done the Minecraft. That doesn't sound like something you do. True. That's very unlike me. Very unlike me. Part of what's helping me is like making my stuff really psychedelic. Super trippy and messed up and stuff. Like the stories are a lot less sword and sorcery and more like deep dives into worlds where souls are power, like literal power, like get fed into a battery. See, that's so sick, dude. And like, what's important, I think, about that is equally to be like, you are finding an idea that you like and want to run with, so it doesn't matter if you find it elsewhere, you know? Good thing to yell about, in my opinion. A worthy cause. Yeah, truly. I gave make one of those mid 2010s memes. He gave his voice. So oh god. By the way, in a few months you're going to Canada for a few weeks, to Montreal. Hey, I hear it's a lovely city. Bad drivers, good concerts. No stream. What am I gonna use as my background noise? Radar frequency 532, which is you know you can play it so that it can be picked up at high range frequencies and be saved if you're ever on a desert island. Could listen to that. The Star Wars radio drama. That too. That is also an option, which actually I may go listen to myself. But ladies and gentlemen, I hate to call it about an hour early, but I have a speaking engagement tomorrow at like 10. And you know, I'm sure my voice will be fine by then, but I kind of want to be sure. So I think I may need to call it now. The Mexican national anthem. You can go listen to that as well. All good options. All good options. Listen to that speaking engagement. Listen to my speaking engagement. You could also listen to audiobook of all of the Transformers comics. I'm sure that exists. I do want to listen to more radio dramas, but all the ones I want to listen to have been wiped off the face of the earth. Oh, there's a great, I am blanking on its name. If I find it after stream, I'll put it in the Discord. But there is a great repository upkept by I'm blanking on the charity's name, and that's the name of the website. Anyway, they have a bunch of old serials that are great. You can listen to like War of the Worlds and a bunch of other of the classics from like 1940 to 1990 something. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out to I'm recommending Twin Peaks to you specifically, but also blanket recommend. I shall take the recommendation into consideration, particularly because I think I may know some. I don't think I've ever watched it fully, but I think I know some stuff about it. If it's what I'm thinking of, which being a David Lynch product, probably do. I've returned with a mango fruit bar thingy. I'm glad that you've returned. Oh, wait, ending stream? No, I just got back. Now I feel bad. We are ending slightly early just because I feel like I maybe yelled a little too much about Star Wars earlier. And by that, I mean my voice feels a bit strained. I do have a speaking thing tomorrow, so I kind of need it to still work. Normally, I don't care if I shout my head off all night. In any event, maybe I need to get back into the swing with Minecraft. I'm not used to yapping this much. Normally there's a game that fills in part of the experience, you know? My God. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, genuinely, thank you so much for coming to the stream. I really appreciate it. I always do, but I hope you know I do. I hope you had fun. I had a blast. I'll see you next time, chat. Watch it. Bye, Dad. Bye, Dad.